Hi, Jill Hope here, and I help people who want to live a bigger, more expansive life to break through those limitations that hold them back so they can live their lives with all the money and freedom that their soul desires. And in today's video, I am going to share 5 habits that magnetize wealth. Let's jump right into these 5 habits. So habit number 1 that magnetizes wealth is to declutter items that no longer reflect the you that you are becoming. So when you hold on to stuff from the past, stuff from your earlier days, that everything you have in your environment, it has a vibration, it has a frequency. Everything is energy. And when you keep that old stuff, thinking that you want to keep the memory alive, or what if I need it someday, right? That's what we sometimes say about our old stuff. When you do that, you're keeping a link to a past you that you have intentioned that you are moving away from. So there's a conflicting energy going on when you keep things that reflect an old energy that you're moving away from versus having things in your life that reflect the new energy that you're moving toward. So you could be doing all this manifestation work, you could be focusing, visualizing, journaling, taking all the big actions, but if you've got a lot of stuff around you that suggests otherwise, that you don't have all that stuff and you don't live that kind of life that you are visualizing you want, that stuff weighs you down. That stuff is a part of you. That is part of your energy. That is part of the frequency that you're putting out in the world. So this habit number 1 is going through your home, all the areas of your home, and getting rid of those things that do not reflect who you really want to be. And I'm not saying that this is going to be easy, because it might be a little bit hard to get rid of some of that stuff. You might need some help. You might need someone to get real with you and really help you make decisions about what reflects you. But a powerful question you can ask yourself is just simply this: when you look at each item and you're trying to decide if you should put it in the get rid of pile or the keep pile, ask yourself, is this an item that I see myself loving when I am living my desires fully? Is this an item that is going to help me feel joy in that place? And if it's not, guess which pile it goes in? The discard pile. Okay? So you got to get hard with yourself when it comes to cleaning stuff out. And I know, because I can be a little bit of a pack rat myself. And you do have to kind of take the hard line. But it's so worth it if it means that you're freeing yourself up and that you're allowing your energy to rise to the level that will more easily attract what you want. What you'll notice is as you start releasing things, you'll feel lighter. That'll be a sign that your vibration is moving higher. That'll be a sign that you're getting closer to resonating with the you that you see yourself being. You can't do it, at least not as easily, when you're laden down with a lot of old stuff, okay? So habit number 1, again, is to declutter those things that no longer reflect the you that you are becoming. Now, habit number 2 is to spend within your means. Spend within your means. Now, that might not sound very exciting, but I'm going to make it a little more exciting right now. This is not to say that you don't buy the trips you want to go on or get that thing that you want so badly. This doesn't mean that you don't get those things. What it means is you create the money to get those things. Okay? I did this once. I actually experiment with this fairly frequently. and it's a lot of fun. This was a few years ago. I decided that one of my favorite places to visit is Las Vegas. So I decided that, I hadn't been for a few years, and I thought, I really want to go. But I was having a really lean financial time. I didn't have the funding to be able to just take off and go to Las Vegas. So I knew that I didn't want to settle for not going. And I knew that I wasn't about to do it on credit. I wasn't about to borrow any money for this. I decided that I was going to generate the money to do this, to go on this trip. So I knew what would also help me is to enlist the help of a friend. And so I actually chose a friend that I haven't seen for a while, who also at that time was kind of going through a similar financially difficult phase. And I asked her if she'd want to set this goal together and have us both work towards it, commit to it, and both create the money for it. And so it was really kind of fun, and we used to check in with each other as we were getting closer. We literally, both of us, manifested the money we needed within 2 weeks after setting that goal. And we went and we had the best time. And still to this day, we talk about, remember when we actually just created that money out of thin air to be able to go on that trip? So the habit number 2 is to spend within your means, but that doesn't mean that you're not doing the things you want to do. It means you're going to create the money for it. Okay? And when you set a firm intention and you commit to it and you just be unstoppable about reaching your goal, you will reach it. Okay. So habit number 3 is to spend your time on growth-inducing activities. Spend your time in growth-inducing activities. So what do I mean by this? Well, there's a lot of distractions, right? I mean, you know this. We all know this. One of the biggest distractions for a lot of people is social media. I mean, can't you just be stuck on there for hours if you let yourself? I mean, you're scrolling through, you're looking at what people are posting, you're looking at their fabulous trips, I've got some fashion people that I follow on Instagram, so I'm checking out what they're wearing, and you can really just go down a rabbit hole when it comes to social media. But what does that really get you at the end of the day? Is that helping to grow you? Not necessarily. I mean, if you're looking specifically, like if I had a goal that I was going to up level my look or up level what I'm wearing, then it might be worth spending some time looking at some of these fashion bloggers or whatever, if that's what I so choose. But even doing that, while that may be growth inducing, you do want to put a limit on it. Scrolling without setting a timer and stopping when that timer goes off isn't necessarily going to help you. You don't necessarily have to spend an inordinate amount of time to get the information that you need. So how are you spending your time? And are those things helping you to grow or not? Are they even potentially shrinking you? Are they wasting your time? Probably we all waste a lot of time, right? If we really think about it, we have a tendency to. So look at what you're doing as you move through your day. And if you have a habit of doing things that are not actually making you grow as a person, see how you can cut those things down, if not out of your life completely. Maybe you need to detox yourself off social media for a while. Maybe your guilty pleasure is sitting and binging on Netflix. There's nothing wrong with doing that once in a while, but if it becomes a habit, it's not a habit that's going to attract wealth into your life. Okay. So habit number 4 is to connect with Source or the divine every single day. Every single day. We need to be connecting with Source if we want to magnetize wealth. How does that go together? What does that mean? Well, you get your divinely inspired marching orders, if you will, not from your brain, but from your heart. When you are aligned with your soul, when you feel the desires of your soul, you want to connect with your soul to know how to move forward towards those desires. Your connection to the divine allows you your connection to your soul, to what's most important to you in your heart, in your soul. And that is where you get your next steps. That is where the inspired ideas come from. We can get in the trap of trying to figure everything out. You know, that is one of the sets of words that I say all the time, and I'm trying to break myself of it. But I've got to figure this out. I need to figure this out. We need to do less figuring out and more opening up to divine wisdom. That's the easy path rather than the hard path. It's what allows you to step into the flow where synchronicities show up. And it's where the most inspired ideas come from. So what does it look like to connect in with the divine? It could be as simple as just sitting down in a favorite chair or on your couch for a few minutes and just taking some big, deep breaths in and just letting all thought go. And just being open in your mind to anything that shows up or nothing, being okay if nothing shows up. Journaling for me is really, really powerful. I come up with more, inspired solutions. When I'm having a problem, if I journal it out, I see things that I just don't get to otherwise. I really feel that I have a strong connection to the divine through journaling, but I also get it through being quiet and listening within. You also might have certain activities that you do where you're more open to what the divine might share with you. Now, there's two in my life that where I get really inspired, and it might sound kind of weird, but one is in my shower. For some reason, when I'm in the shower, I get the best ideas. And then if the problem is if I don't act on them right away, I chicken out a lot of times. So when you get these inspired ideas, you do have to put them into action right away, because when it's coming in, that's when you're open to the most possibility, and that's when your inhibitions are lowest. So you don't talk yourself out of it. If you allow your brain to get involved, the figuring out part of you, you can talk yourself out of it real fast. So you do want to move on those inspired actions. So for me, I get a lot of those inspired actions when I'm in the shower. The other place I get them is when I'm first waking up in the morning. If I just lay in bed for a minute or two, I mean, it's not long. It's amazing the ideas that drop in when I'm just sort of in that dozy, just waking up, just coming out of a dream, not fully conscious, but, as I'm waking up, that's when these ideas drop in. That's when realizations happen. That's when insights from seemingly out of the blue come to me. So if you notice both of those instances, when I'm waking up and when I'm in the shower, those are times when you're probably pretty relaxed. So that's another tip for you in terms of how to get connected with the divine. It tends to happen more and more easily when you are relaxed. So think about what helps you to relax, because that's probably a good time for you to connect in with the divine. Also, doing things that bring you joy, where you're just having fun. We're relaxed when we're having fun, and that's another way to open up to divine wisdom and inspiration. So habit number 4 is to connect with source or the divine every single day. And habit number 5, and they're all important, but this is a really biggie for people, is to see circumstances in your life from a lens of abundance rather than from a lens of lack. So what does that look like? Well, how often when something happens and we're trying to create something better in our lives, and yet another thing happens that doesn't look like we're manifesting what we want. We hit up against a roadblock or a pitfall, and instead of breezing past it or going around it, we can get worked up about it. We can get upset, we can get angry, and then we can spiral down into, well, this always happens. Oh, it figures, here's this situation happening again. Sure, I get on a good path and then another problem shows up. I guess I'm not meant to have what I want. Does that sound familiar? Whenever we look at our problems as, it's the end of the world, why is this happening? This always happens to me. I'm not meant to have what I want. Yada, yada, yada. The violin plays. That is lack. All of those things we say to ourselves is viewing from a lack lens. And when you view things from a lack lens, you just get more lack. You don't create abundance. You don't tap into wealth. You definitely do not magnetize wealth when you're focusing on lack and complaining about it. So how could you see a negative or a seemingly negative situation in an abundant, prosperous way? Well, you might ask a different question. You might ask a question like, if everything happens for me, which is what I truly believe, is that everything that happens in our world, in our day, in our daily circumstances, happens for us, not to us. So if you hold the belief, like I do, that everything happens for us, a powerful question to ask when something gets in your way of what you want is to ask yourself, if this happened for me, how could that be so? When you ask a question like that, that in and of itself is an abundant question. Wow, this happened for me. How might that be true? That this thing that I thought was bad actually happened to help me. Did it make me dig deeper and to see how strong I am and to bring that strength and resilience out? Did it have me opening up to a higher level of thinking? Because I have to, now connect in with my source to try to find the answer because it feels bigger than me. How could it possibly be that this is actually for me, that it's a gift in my life rather than seeming like a roadblock? That is an abundant perspective to have. And when you start to practice that kind of thinking, you automatically tune in with a higher level frequency, which is the same frequency that all the stuff you want exists on. And again, a like frequency attracts like frequency. You're not going to attract wealth if you're focusing on lack. You absolutely are attracting and magnetizing wealth when you are tuning into abundance and seeing your world and your circumstances through an abundant lens. So there are your 5 habits to magnetize wealth and abundance in your life. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you could see some areas where maybe you're not really following some of these habits. If so, then that's a tweak that you'll want to make. Okay, so hopefully you took some notes. If you didn't, you might want to watch this video again. And if you'd like even more shifts that will help you tune into wealth, I've got a great free audio for you. It's 7 inner shifts you must make in 2020 to grow your wealth. So that's down in the description below. Feel free to grab that link. And if you'd like some personal support, I can help you with that through a money mindset clarity call. It's free. You just need to fill out the application that's on the link below, and then I will connect with you and see how I can help you to break through any mindset issues, any limiting beliefs that are holding you back from tapping into and magnetizing all the wealth that you desire in your life. So I hope this was helpful today. Until next time, be safe, be healthy, be well, and stay connected to your abundance. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.